Hi guys! We are here today to talk about nail trimming and help train you to train your dog to tolerate and potentially enjoy having their nails trimmed. Helping me today is Prudence, who it's been a couple weeks since we've trimmed her nails, so I thought it'd be a great time, great opportunity to make a video for you. The style of nail trimmers that I prefer are the scissor style. They have a short, rounded blade, so it kind of rounds curves on both sides. This is really nice for cutting the nail from both sides. I like it because I can get very detailed with it, and it seems to be less harsh compared to some other nail trimmers on the market. Another thing that I really like about it is it has this little metal blade, metal wall, that you can move behind the blade, so it helps prevent you from cutting the nail too far, because you can only stick it in so far because it kind of blocks the nail from going any further. So I do like that, especially for beginners at trimming nails. It's really helpful. The other part of these that I like is that it has this little safety lock. So when the blades are closed, you can lock them closed so you don't accidentally cut yourself or the dog with them. Okay. I personally don't use the little metal wall, so I'm going to move that out of the way. But for starters, for the first couple steps, we're going to start out with just having the blades locked. Okay, so we're going to lock the nail clippers in place, and actually for this first step, they're not even going to touch your dog's toes. Okay, so what we're going to do to try to show our dogs that the nail clippers being in our hands is a positive thing for them is we're just going to practice holding the nail clippers in our hand, and we're going to place a treat in that hand. Okay, and then we're going to offer that to our dogs. Good girl. You're going to praise them for taking the treat. Now with puppies, I suggest doing this for maybe the first week. Okay, and you can use their meal, you can use just their dry kibble, because puppies don't know any better, for practicing this exercise, right? So it's just kibble in the hand, clippers in the hand, and you're offering the food. Yes, good dog. That way they see this scary, potentially scary thing in our hands coming at them as a very positive thing. Good girl. So after the first couple days, I would practice this, okay? So the rule of thumb is not to go too fast because we're really trying to develop some trust with this exercise. Good girl. Because if we don't have that trust, and we accidentally hurt our dogs or we go too far too fast, we're kind of pushing the limits there, okay? And it's going to take a lot longer to work them back to that step we left off on. Good girl. So you can see she's kind of impatiently waiting for these clippers to come near her because she understands she gets this really yummy piece of food. Good girl. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to step number 2. So step number 2, we are still keeping our trimmers locked closed, except now we're going to start touching the toenails with them. Okay? Same thing, I'm holding a treat with that hand that the nail clippers are in. This does take a little bit of practice. I'm going to take the metal part of the clippers and I'm going to reach down and just tap, tap, tap on her toenails and then deliver that treat. Okay? So again, it's just tap, 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 deliver the treat. Tap, 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 deliver that treat. Okay? I like my dogs to be laying down in sort of a relaxed or settled position like this. And so every time I reward them, I'm going to try to go back, no matter what paw I'm working with, I'm going to try to go back and reward them right in this general area to help encourage them to hold that down. So now I'm going to tap the back foot just to show. Tap, 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 deliver that treat. Okay? And that kind of also teaches her to kind of remain patiently for that treat. She knows it's coming to her in this area, so she doesn't need to kind of wiggle all around and follow the nail clipper hands, even though there is a treat in there. Good girl. So you want to make sure that you do all 4 feet with this exercise and that they get really used to this exercise. So I would probably do this step for another, 4 to 7 days. Because remember, we want to go slow because it'll make the rest of your life trimming their nails much easier. Good. And you don't want to forget about those little dew claws. If they have them. Not all dogs have them. girl. All right, step number 3. I'm actually going to hold one of her paws with my left hand and continue the exact same thing as step 2 with my right hand. So I'm going to hold her paw, tap, 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 and treat. Good. Hold her paw, tap, 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 and treat. Good girl. And beware, your hand might get a little slimy in this process. Hold the paw, tap, 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 and treat. And again, I want to make sure that I do this with every single nail and every single foot. Okay, and I want to make sure she's comfortable with it. Good. As you can see, her reflexes are kind of kicking in, and she's pulling that leg back a little bit. So this is a very important stage because in order to clip the nails, it's much easier if you hold the paw with one hand and clip with the other hand. And as you go on practicing this step over the couple days, you want to start kind of applying a little bit more pressure to the feet because you're actually going to really have to hold them, not just lightly touch them. And of course, you don't want to apply too much pressure that it's really uncomfortable for the dog, but enough to where you're actually able to hold the paw steady for a cut. There we go. Getting a little better with that front paw. Good. All right, so moving on to step number 4, where we actually start cutting the nail. This one is a little bit trickier. So again, I'm going to move that little wall out of my way because I personally don't need it. It's easier for me to not have it there. And I'm going to unlock my blades, but I'm going to hold them closed, okay? And I'm still going to set a treat in that hand. So where I like to set it is just between the 2 handles. That way I can easily dump it out of my hand when I'm ready. And I'm going to hold a foot, so repeating the last step, and I'm going to tap, 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 treat. And I'm going to do that a couple times on one nail, maybe 3 times, and then I'm going to sneak a trim in there. Okay? Tap, 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 treat. And you can see she sort of turns her head away, slightly in discomfort. It's kind of her sign that she says, I'm a little uncomfortable with this, but I'm not ready to leave yet. Good. She's kind of preparing herself for the cut, so to speak. A little bit bigger piece, falling apart. Do one more, and then this next time I'm actually going to try and trim. Good girl. Thank you. See, easy breezy. That didn't bother her at all. I'm just going to move right on to the next nail. Doesn't have to be perfect quite yet. Those little trims in the beginning, that's all it takes. Okay? Good. Girl, there you go. Good girl. I'm going to try switching feet just so that maybe you can see a little bit better. So I'm holding her paw, tap, 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 deliver treat. Holding her paw, tap, 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 deliver treat. Holding her paw, tap, 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 deliver treat. And I'm doing this all on the same nail. You're approved. And I do trim and treat. And I'm going to repeat this exact process with all the nails on every single paw. But for just for the example of the video, I'm going to move to the back feet. Okay, so it's just a tap, 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 deliver the treat. And remember, I always deliver the treat back up to that front area to encourage her to be calm and patient. Tap, 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 deliver the treat. And of course, when you're working with your dog, you don't have to verbalize tap, 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 deliver the treat. I'm doing that for the sake of the video because I don't think you can quite hear the tapping. Okay, so this next time I'm actually going to do a trim. Good girl. Feel free to praise your dog through this, but don't praise them very excitedly because that can help amp them up. So just a nice, calm, good girl, good boy. Tap, 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 deliver the treat. Oops, sorry. If you can hear, Lucy's currently contained in the bedroom. She's obviously finished her Kong treat and thinks that she's missing out on something super fun. Although nail trims are definitely still a work in progress for her. Okay, this next time I'm going to go ahead and trim a nail.